everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is actually going to be a little bit of a different video because I have a super exciting announcement that I have wanted to share with you all for so long, and today I finally get to. So let's get started. Oh, you didn't think I wasn't gonna do a Minecraft build while we chat, did you? I gotta do an archaeologically relevant Minecraft build. It's what I do. So what's the big news and what am I building? I'm gonna be cheeky and tell you what I'm building first before I tell you the news, because I can. Today, I am building an early medieval byre house modeled after one of the buildings excavated at Lair in Glenshee, Scotland. A byre house is basically a single building that combines a byre, which is basically a barn, usually for cows, and a house. So it's a structure where under the same roof, you have an area for animals in one section of the building and the area where people live in the other section of the building. This particular byre house was made out of turf, which is basically chunks of grass, including the roots, cut out of the ground and then packed into walls. Turf houses are great for insulation because the walls tend to be rather thick and well packed, so there are actually very few places where the outside air can get in. The roof of this house was made out of thatch, although so little of the roof survives that we actually don't know how tall the roof stood. In fact, we don't even really know how high the walls were for this house, but based on the thickness of their base, we don't think they stood higher than about 2 meters, which is what I've got here. There was also a single door that led from outside the byre house into the part with the animals, which is also called the byre. The floor in the byre sinks down a bit and is lined with paving stones. Wooden stakes pierce through the stones and likely reached all the way up to the roof. The owners then used a material called wattle and daub to create a wall between the byre and their house, although they did leave enough space for a door to get from the byre to the house easily. The byre itself may have had individual pens for animals, or it might have been more open, but as you'll see in my next Archaeologist Guide episode, which I promise is coming soon, cows in Minecraft are a little difficult to wrangle, so I'm making individual pens because I want the cows to stay put. I want them to stay put. So that's what we're gonna do. There's also a drain in the southeastern corner of the byre so that at least a certain amount of waste from the animals can drain out that corner instead of just festering in the byre. So we've talked about the byre, let's talk about the house. The house portion of this byre house takes up slightly less than half of the space. There's a large central hearth right in the middle of the living area, and this would have been lined with stones, but I can't represent the stones and the packed earth floor, so I've opted for the packed earth floor here, but just imagine that this hearth is also lined with stones around it. There were also raised platforms all along the walls, which served as storage or seating, and even a place for people to sleep. We also think that it's possible this house had some kind of loft space, both in the house and in the byre, and that those spaces probably would have been used for storage. Sharing a wall with the byre house is a circular outbuilding with a door leading to the outside. It's built of the same materials as the byre house, but it is significantly smaller. Inside, there's a workshop for maintaining iron tools, along with a little bit of storage, and even a pit to throw any trash from either this building or the byre house itself. There's also an outbuilding connected to the byre house on the other side. The excavations couldn't really touch this building, they could only identify where it was and how big it was. It seems to have been made the same way as the others though, and it might have been connected through a door like this one here. Since we don't really know what it could have been used for, I've decided to use it for more storage, but it could also have been used as maybe a larger workshop, or even perhaps an extension to the byre for more animals. There's also a fourth building that's quite close to these ones at the site, but similar to this outbuilding, excavators couldn't really excavate that building, and it doesn't quite share a wall with our byre house, so I've left it out of the picture for now. So why is all of this important? Well, this site is in Perthshire, Scotland, and dates to about the late 7th or 8th century CE. It's a Pictish site, and one that gives an impressive view into the everyday life of Pictish farmers. And this is where we get to the announcement. I have been hired as the lead researcher to Carved in Stone, which is an upcoming illustration-rich, system-neutral setting guide for tabletop role-playing games showcasing the rich and complicated landscape of 7th century Scotland. The book that we're creating is going to act as a primer on the Pictish people and allows you to actually play as the Picts in ancient Scotland in your tabletop role-playing game of choice. The final book is going to include a vast summary of what archaeologists know about the Picts, from their diet to their writing systems and, well, how they built their houses. The guide will also make a lot of inferences about the Picts. Believe it or not, there is a lot that we don't know about the Picts, so archaeologists like me have to make educated guesses based on what we find. In archaeology, we're usually happy to leave blank spaces wherever we don't have much information, but we can't really do that here. So instead, we're going to put what archaeologists know into the book, and then we're going to make a lot of educated inferences, and we're going to talk a lot about where those inferences are coming from in the research. And to add another layer why this particular Pictish buyer house from Lair is important, our finished book is also going to include some campaign hooks that you can use and even an example adventure path to get you started. And that adventure path starts right here in Lair. I am really, really excited about this project. You all know that I'm an archaeologist, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you probably know that I live in Scotland. But what you might not know is that I'm an archaeologist specializing in the material culture of early medieval Scotland, including groups like the Picts. I am also a huge nerd for tabletop role-playing games. I have played a lot of different systems, and I've also run campaigns or served as a GM or game master for several different systems. I am so excited to combine two of the biggest spheres of my nerddom for you all to enjoy, and I cannot wait for you to see the final product. So, if you are interested in Carved in Stone, it is available for pre-order, along with some really great add-on perks. And yes, as a material culture nerd, I have definitely put my name down for this wonderful penannular brooch pin because, like, just look at it. It's gorgeous. Look at it. It's beautiful. I love it. I've put the link to the Kickstarter page in the description down below. That page has a lot of information about this project, and it also will take you to the pre-order store page if you'd like to. And that's it. That's the super exciting news. Isn't it great? I am so excited. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you'd like to, hit that notification bell so that you can be among the first to know when I upload a new video. Also, if you're curious about archaeological news and such outside of my videos, I post a lot of archaeology relevant stuff on my Twitter. So if you'd like to get updates in between videos, Twitter is where it's at. That's all from me for today. That feels like it's cheapening the news. The news is big. It's a big thing. I can do this. That's all from me for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!